1970 didn't feel like a year, it felt like a threshold. Something had burned. Wars, beliefs, rules, bodies, and in the smoke, people thought they saw an opening. Not a reform, not a policy, a rebirth. They believed the world had cracked open, and that whatever came next would be truer. The late 60s had exhausted language. Protest signs stopped making sense. Politics felt too small for what people were feeling. The problem, they decided, wasn't governments, it was consciousness itself. So they turned inward, toward the body, toward sensation, toward sex, drugs, mysticism, ritual. If reality was broken, they would feel their way out. In 1970, the future felt close enough to touch. People spoke seriously about the end of money, the end of hierarchy, the end of repression, the end of history. They believed technology would soften, that machines would serve nature, that cities would dissolve into communes. They didn't want to own the world. They wanted to merge with it. They believed separation itself was the disease. The word they used was simple: freedom. Politics moved into the flesh. Hair grew long, clothes loosened, gender blurred, sex became theory. The body was no longer something to discipline, it was something to liberate. Pleasure stopped being private. It became a weapon, a refusal of order, a rejection of control. If enough people felt differently, the system would collapse on its own. That was the belief. But even then, not everyone believed. Some looked at this new freedom and saw only chaos. They saw confusion dressed as liberation, desire mistaken for wisdom, and they asked questions no one wanted to answer. What happens after the trip ends? What replaces structure once it's destroyed? What fills the vacuum when everything dissolves? No one had good answers, only more sensation. Years later, they tried to explain this moment. They reduced it to fashion, to drugs, to nostalgia. They called it naive, or childish, or dangerous. But that missed the point. 1970 wasn't about rebellion, it was about impatience. People couldn't wait for permission, for progress, for institutions to catch up with desire. They tried to skip history. Most of the utopia failed. Communes collapsed, ideals hardened into brands. Freedom became a lifestyle product, but something survived. The language of the body, the suspicion of authority, the idea that life should be felt, not just managed. The system learned, it absorbed what it could, it monetized the rest. The future didn't disappear, it was repackaged. 1970 wasn't the beginning of a new world. It was the last moment when people truly believed one was imminent. After that, hope became cautious, then ironic, then nostalgic. The door didn't close. It just stopped being visible.